Yeah, they are big part because they pay. They pay screening fees, yeah. But you don't have, you shouldn't do things for them. It becomes very artificial, and people will. You need to do something that can communicate to the people around you. I think. I mean, it's a very old-fashioned concept, but I think it's true. Any last? Yes.
One more question.
Yes.
Due to the global financial
Malaysian ringgit, the clarification.
Okay, due to the global financial crisis now, and what do you feel about people finding it tough to get sponsorship or even supporting of the movie or the film that they want to come up with? So, what is your advice?
Actually, the Malays are very wise people, and one of the wisest sayings that the Malays have is, you should measure your shirt on your own body. That means when you go into a shop, you don't buy it off the rack. You go to a tailor. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that what you can do, you do. If you can raise 10,000 somehow by conning people somehow, then use 10,000. If your father plays golf with some tycoon, as has happened before, and you can raise 1 million euros, then use that. I think you should never allow that to hinder you. Like, I have everything, I just don't have the money. Maybe I work on the back way, the other way around. I find out how much money I can get, and then I do something to tailor that. So, last year I made a lesbian vampire movie for 1.2 million ringgit. And this one, the studio wouldn't finance, the studio that funded that wouldn't finance this, obviously. So you just make do with what you have. I think that's more important. You don't want to end up with like ideas for film that are like 10 years keeping around you, then it becomes very sour and curdles inside you. So I think you should always just, be pragmatic. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, probably keeping, for the answer this very Malaysian stuff. I see you've made a lot of movies like The Big Durian, Last Communist, and it seems they always get banned, and even this upcoming, you're saying they're having problems with censorship, trying to screen to Malaysians, and I can see that you're more or less, you're wanting to get a message out, and it seems that you're always facing this wall, right, and trying to overcome that. What do you hope? What do you hope for the future? I mean, trying to break out of that, or to even get. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah.
Well, for me, I think that's. I have a friend named Daniel. Actually, I shouldn't call him a friend because I have an acquaintance named Daniel, and he sells pirated DVDs. And he said that the month Last Communist was banned, it was the top-selling pirated DVD in Malaysia. It beat whatever Hollywood action movie was there. But people came back and complained because they were expecting an action movie. So he's like, why is this all people talking in it? So he said, the sales are very good, but returns are also quite high. So I think there's no such thing as a ban in Malaysia. It's like, if you want something, you can get it.
But it's not really getting all out, right? I mean.
I think more people buy pirated DVDs than legit DVDs. I know, I certainly do. Yeah. I have like 600 at home. I have very few original. Yeah. So, in a way, because when I screened Last Communist at the Communist Village itself in Thailand, we screened it, and then after that there was complete silence in this village. And one person finally spoke up and said, in Kelantanese Malay, he said, even if this had been passed, no one would pay to watch it. So he said, you should be grateful to the government of Malaysia. He said, yeah, I am. Every day I thank God for the government of Malaysia.
Well, I can say some things about that. Well, I think Amir is a very creative filmmaker, and I think his films have to be seen, of course, as you rightly pointed out, in the context of Malaysia itself, Malaysian politics, and how they try to limit public space, as it were. And so I think his films are always rather shocking when you first see them. They're never what they're announced to be, I think, in a way.
This is rated M18. See, we can guess why. I made sure to take out all the lesbian sex, but they're still M18.
And perhaps that's how it has to work, given the limitations. And then you get innovative people like him, who somehow has the feel for what's going on and where the holes are, as it were, and he makes use of it.
I just want to say that I think the arts community as a whole, Amir included, since the Reformasi zaman, have had to court strategic ways of dealing with censorship. Theatre has had to do a range of things. A play that has been published and performed suddenly had to deal with the fact that certain words were not allowed. And the play was Election Day by Jose Sulaiman, directed by Krishan Jit and performed by Joko Kudas. And the words were Mahathir Mohamad, Anwar Ibrahim, Wan Aziza, and some swear words. I forget one person, R.S. Sivarasa was another.
Even Guardian Pharmacy was not.
Guardian Pharmacy was not.
Volkswagen also.
Pardon?
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, thank you. So, you know, when that happens, you realize that the whole meaning of being censored, as Kibing says, you have to deal with it in a whole new approach, and each time it's something new. You don't know what's going to come up, and that's part of the task of the artist in this space. You just kind of say, okay, new game, let's play.
One last question. How is your experience with the local, as in Singapore censors?
I think Singapore censors have been very kind. I've never had anything banned here. I think just the first one, they Lips to Lips, they wanted to cut one scene for a festival, but they appealed, it was fine. I think Singaporean censors are very, well, on the whole, I think if you're a Singapore filmmaker, you will have a whole list of grievances. But I think looking at it from outside, I think it's very market savvy. You know, they want to help the market. You know, a festival is a kind of market. It's a kind of market space. Not necessarily in terms of dollars and cents, but space in terms of PR and that kind of thing. So they want to help in things like that. Which I think Malaysians also, they try to do. I mean, it's not actually common. I mean, my movies were the only 2 Malaysian films to ever be banned. Not that because they're so shocking, but because people had self-censored so much after that it's become so internal. So I think that, but in general, I think the Singapore audience is much more aware that this may get bad press if it's got, maybe. So they're more in keeping with things like that. But of course, you have to ask a Singapore filmmaker for a more inside perspective. Yeah.
Are you going to do a movie on Alta Tree?
Alta Tree, yeah? Oh, yeah. I don't speak Mongolian. But yeah, there's some very interesting things happening there. I think it's, it's so interesting, we shall not go into that. But yes, I can plug my own book. Malaysian Politicians Say the Dumbest Things, Volume 2. I don't know. Actually, I'm more interested in publishing books now. I'm writing a book on old Malay movies from 48 to 72. So that's taking up a lot of time. So I won't be shooting anything anytime soon. Anything?
Should we have
Yes.
one last question? Or...
One last, because there's no Q&A after.
Come on, guys. Precious time ticking away. What you can do.
So what is your next movie, next film that you intend to do after this?
The gentleman who's sitting behind you and grinning away. Strategically, we placed him there because we knew you were going to ask that. Of course, we haven't really confirmed the details yet, but I'm publishing a book in August called Body to Body, which is Malaysia's first queer anthology. We may not use the word queer, I don't know, some people have had problems with the word queer. But gay, lesbian anthology. So we want to do a movie based on that, and I hope Bang, who's the co-editor there, will be involved in directing it as well. So, and we'll send it to the Singapore Censorship Board.
I will be most happy to screen it with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Really congratulations because I know this is before the screening. I don't know if...
They have not seen it.
Okay, so we don't enjoy it.
That's how I'll con them into speaking.
Well, just to say that I'm very honored that Amir asked me to come and speak, mainly because I think him one of the more innovative filmmakers, and also I owe him for having spelled his name wrongly once in a book.
Kibing speaks Swedish, by the way. You may not know this by looking at him. Yes. Kalin, who doesn't speak Swedish? Yeah.
I think, yeah, being asked to be on this little panel made me think about what effect does this have in the long term and the short term. Because the 2 groups that I talked about, APA and Action, Action continues to make work. APA continues to exist as an email Yahoo group mainly, occasionally producing statements. So I think there is a question that needs to be asked, which we're not asking enough. about what is sustainable